Okay, welcome to everyone, and thanks for joining this conference. Let me introduce myself. My name is MAURIZIO TOMEI, and I'm the Sales Customer Service of ORADOC, and I'm the pleasure to be here with Mr. FRANCESCO CORROTTI, the Paper Mill Corporate Coordination Operating Director of Sofidel. We are here together to present the new concept of Yankee rigid doctor that we have developed in ORADOC, the OraLock. Before starting, some brief information about our organization. ORADOC is a part of Viva Network that involves other two companies, CRC and ISE, that are involved in the paper industry, providing products and services for more than 25 years. Also, these two companies are based here in Lucca. Concerning ORADOC, ORADOC is headquarters nowadays in Lucca, but we have a branch office in the north of Italy, in Novara. And for over 30 years, we representing a benchmark in the world of doctors, measuring system, and blades for end user O&M customer. Even if, of course, our background came from the paper industry, we could say that in the last few years we have developed and we have grown also in other fields like the rubber, like nonwovens, wood industry, and others. This is the great news for this year about ORADOC. From 1st January of 2021, we have acquired MTK. MTK is also an Italian company based in Lucca that produce and, of course, install all the drainage system and related vacuum system for the paper industry. This acquisition is, of course, belongs all the strategy that we have in ORADOC for the present and for the future. Okay, let's discuss about the OraLock after this brief presentation. So, as you know, paper makers are more or less every day challenged by the need to obtain the best possible product in terms of quality and quantity, but of course using always high-speed machines, okay, but also differentiate the product every day, of course, according to the market request. All of these characteristics, of course, these needs cannot be achieved without a stable, flexible, and, of course, optimized creping process. And for sure, the creping process is a part of the process where the creping blade holder and the other holders of the Yankee cylinder are very important. So, when it comes to meeting this need that I have already said, in the market we can find two different concepts of rigid and blade, of Yankee doctors. The flexible philosophy, the flexible concept, and also the rigid one. From history, ORADOC has always been trust in the flexible one, but our idea, for sure, was to approach the rigid concept from the beginning, but with some advantages on the already existing doctor. And this is what we have done with this project. Of course, this project came from our experience, that came from, of course, the paper market and the experience that we have in the paper mills, but also thanks to the help that our customer gave to us. Yes, the development process of this OraLock, this new doctor, came from a dedicated SWOT analysis that we have done on the existing rigid doctor that we found on the market. So, of course, start from the strengths. We could say that what we find in the market is for sure as a robust design, reliable design, and of course the cartridge system to adjust the stick-out blade. But on the other hand, we could say that if we look at the weaknesses that has this rigid creping doctor, we could have a list, starting from the difficult and non-accurate profiling. For this reason, this procedure is usually carried out by a very skilled technician and also take time. But if you don't do a very good profiling, it happens that you have an higher blade load in order to cover better the Yankee, and of course a non-uniform blade load. For this reason, what we have done, we have taken all these weaknesses and try to put it in our new concept. So, following this idea, after more than 2 years of R&D activities and 1 year of pilot installation in Sofidel plant, we have developed the new concept, and the brand name is OraLock. So I now give the floor to Francesco Corrotti. Again, thank you for sharing the presentation with us, and we will explain briefly the Sofidel group, if necessary, and also how we have approached together this project.
Okay, just before getting into the point of this presentation, please allow me to get you bored for a couple of minutes about to present my company, Sofidel Group. Just few numbers to describe. Maybe Sofidel is well known in the area and maybe in Europe, maybe a little bit less outside Europe. However, just key numbers is more than 6,000 employers, and with a consolidated net turnover of over 2 billion. We have facilities in 12 countries, and with an annual production capacity of our paper mills of about 1.5 million at the moment. This is our presence in Europe, so all the European continent is well covered. Just a little bit of history. The story of Sofidel is quite young, because it's a company that was founded about 50 years ago. But in these 50 years, okay, we have seen a really continuous growth from Italy to consolidating in the Italian market, and with the creation of Regina brand in the late 80s, and after that the challenge of expansion in Europe via greenfields and via acquisitions. So once the Europe was covered, we put another, let's say, brick in our history, stepping on the other side of the pond in the US from 2013, and we have a growth strategy in the US that is ongoing. Now we are starting covering the US also. We have a headquarters in Philadelphia with some facilities spread all over the country, and the strategy is to grow more in the US. Just a short mention about what is leading, what is impacting on our business, our way to do business. Sofidel has been committed since 1 decade in the sustainability and in the environmental. Maybe in a pioneeristic way, because in the tissue no one was speaking about environment maybe 10 years ago. Maybe Sofidel did in the tissue industry for the first time. However, in this decade we have seen the joining with the WWF, so a lot of commitment about CO2 emission reduction, and also the other pillar for us is also the social responsibility, that it is a big and important pillar that is driving our business. So this is the last motto that overcomes the sustainability that we have identified in Clean Living, the best description of our, let's say, way of doing business. So for everyday needs, healthier planet, and integrity and respect. So now after this, I would like to jump into the project with ORADOC itself. So basically, this discussion with ORADOC, okay, due to the long-term relationship with ORADOC and also mutual trust between Sofidel and ORADOC, and also a personal interest in the concept of OraLock when they start mentioning to me. At the end, we were really interested to do something together, at least to do a mutual help in developing this concept. So at the end of the day, we identify one mill, PM2 in Lucca, that is in the area here in Porcari. So in April 2019, we started up with this new system that was developed specifically for that machine. This is a crash informer running 1800 meters per minute, producing premium toilet paper. So I leave the word again to Maurizio to go on with the description.
Okay, so thanks, Francesco. Yes, coming back to the genesis of OraLock, how it is born, the idea and the concept that stay behind this product. So from one side, as I said, thanks to the experience that we have achieved with 1,000, I would say, self-profiling flexible blade holders, and also on the other hand, thanks to the robust and reliable design that we usually find in the rigid blade holder, mixed together these two features, we have developed this new product. Then also, after the startup in Sofidel and after the test in Sofidel, it also been patented. So the concept is mainly based on some movable parts that we call fingers that are, how can I say, flexible. Okay, this is a flexibility of these parts during the profiling setup, and then this is why we call OraLock. We lock all these movable parts after the profiling setup. So it means that this is a rigid doctor when run and flexible during the setup. And the main important thing is that we arrive to do that, we reach it in a very easy and quick way, without, as I said, the expertise of a skilled technician. So, coming back to the initial SWOT analysis, what we have done, we have maintained the strengths of the existing rigid doctor, the robust and reliable design, the cartridge design, the cartridge system to adjust the stick out, and we have transformed the opportunities of the existing rigid in additional strengths on the OraLock system. So, an accurate and easy blade profiling without the need, of course, of a skilled technician. That it means, of course, an uniform blade load, so a better profiling, reduction the risk of chattering, and also reduction the variation of the quality of the paper in machine direction and cross direction. This is what we have achieved with this project. So I leave now a very short clip about this project and this relation with Sofidel. I give back again the floor to Francesco that will explain the results of this project.
Okay, just a quick review of the figures that we have identified. So we have set a validation process with statistical tools, and we have selected, paper, some grade of paper, and we have analyzed the figures on a period of 6 months. And we have identified also some 5 KPIs. No? So at the end of the day, the KPIs has been reached and achieved all of them. First of all, the blade change time in respect to the previous creping doctor, we have seen a better, a quicker way to change the blade. So we have saved about 18% of the time during the blade change. We have seen also a better lifetime, so more than 10% in lifetime. We have defined also a parameter that is the elongation divided by the creep ratio, and we have seen an increase of 4%. And as a side effect, also a slight reduction in the coating coverage. And then we have seen also a better end feeling. It is not proven by any MTech or something like that, but this has been like an internal panel. So at the end of the day, we have also increased the OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, of 1.4%, and we have quantified in 300 ton per year on that machine specifically with, we give some, just to put some euros on that, about 80,000 of earning per. So please consider that this has been the results of a 6-month continuous monitoring, thanks also to the team in the Liccarta mill that did a very great job about that. So at the end of the day, the goals was achieved, and I would like to insist about the quick and fast profiling, because this system that is the new idea of ORADOC is, has been proven as effective. Maybe it is not so ideal, let's say in Lucca, where we have skilled technicians and we have the capability to do that, but it is important that it is possible to do regardless with operators' expertise. So at the end of the day, it is more valuable in a paper machine that is quite far from Lucca or in the middle of nowhere and with no skill at all. And then we have optimized the blade load, because having a, let's say, a possibility to profile more and more frequently the creping doctor, it is possible to have a better profile throughout our operation. So at the end of the day, I close here, and that, the equipment is working since April 2019 with any major issues. So thank you for your attention. I don't know if there are some questions or...
Yeah, if there is any question, otherwise I would really thank you. Any question? No, but thank you especially for introducing to us this new company. How you call it? Sofidel.
Okay, it's a company, but